message was actually inspired by a prayer call we had in 2020. And Pastor Atina was talking about trusting God in spite of. And I didn't really understand I didn't understand why the words in spite of were just, they were just stuck in my mind. And this had to be maybe like October of 2020 when the call was. Even when I wrote my goals for 2021, I wrote down to have a in spite of mindset. And as we look over the last year and a half and how much adversity we've just been through, from COVID-19 to unemployment, loss of family and friends, depression, anxiety, we've been through a lot. But in spite of it all, God has still been faithful. The perfect example is we paid off our land in the pandemic. We completed our building fund 101%. So y'all can't tell me that God is not faithful. So when I started thinking about why in spite of was really sticking with me so heavily, I started to look at the events in my life and how I tried to handle them and create my own outcome. And I realized that the problem was God gave me these problems, but he has the solution. And I was too busy trying to create the solutions myself. And then I started thinking about, I say I trust God, but do I really trust him? Or am I just saying it because that's just what I'm supposed to say? And I started to feel convicted. Like I was cheating myself, like there's something that I didn't trust him enough to handle my problems, and I was in my own way. So I had to remove myself out of all of those situations and really learn how to trust God in spite of my circumstances. So when we look at in spite of, what does that really mean? So in spite of is without being affected by the particular factor mentioned. So some similar words are despite, although, regardless of, even though. So in spite of me being completely out of my comfort zone, I'm up here this morning. In spite of my sinuses trying to act like they're going to take over, I'm up here. But if I wasn't out of my comfort zone, I would not grow. So our foundation scripture for today is going to be Psalm 62:8 in the NIV version. And it says, "Trust God at all times, my people. Tell him all your troubles, for he is our refuge." So, of course, I was like, okay, what does that really mean? So trust is to believe in the reliability, truth, ability, or strength of something. And then refuge is a condition of being safe or sheltered from pursuit, danger, or trouble. So when it comes to trusting God, that means we believe in his reliability, his word, his ability, and his strength. Trusting in God also means that we know we're going to endure some things, but it's not going to last. Joseph is a great example of somebody who really trusted God in spite of his circumstances. And you can read Joseph's story. I'm not going to go in depth, but starting at Genesis 37. So to sum it up, Joseph was thrown in a pit, sold to slavery by his jealous brothers, lied on by his boss's wife. Now I'm going to stop right there. And he was thrown in jail for something he didn't do. Before we were saved, put that disclaimer out, what we do when somebody lie on us? See? Thank you, Quintel. Thank you, because you there with me. First thing we do is the neck start rolling, the fingers start going, and it's a first of all. Let me tell you something. What you're not going to do, But now that we saved, you're lucky I'm saved. Because if I wasn't, I would let you have it. But you know what? I'm going to kill you with kindness. But in spite of how Joseph was treated, he responded in grace. He responded with humility. And he trusted God through every situation he was in. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I wouldn't have reacted the same way. Just being honest. I've been like, oh, so this is what y'all going to do? All right, bet. Wait till y'all find out who I really am. Got it. Don't worry about it. I got y'all. But he still chose forgiveness in all of it. Have you ever noticed how ducks cross the road? So when ducks are crossing the road, if you haven't, because most of the time we're just ready for them to get across the street so we can get to our destination. But there's a method to their madness. So when they cross the street, the mother is normally in the front. The children are following, and the father is behind them. And the mother goes first so she can create a path for them. So in case they're going through vegetation or any type of plants or any mud or anything, so they don't get stuck. So it hit me as I was watching them, also because the cars behind me were honking, because the light was green, to know that he is following us and that he has sent somebody before us to clear our path. Like, what if he put us through these hardships to see just how much we trust him, to see how we're going to respond when hardships come our way? John 16 and 33 in the New Living Translation, NIV version says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. So right there, he already told us we're going to go through some stuff. So he didn't say everything is going to be peaches and cream. You're going to have trouble. But he also promises that he'll be with us. So let's look at Matthew 28 and 20, NIV version again. And teaching them to obey everything that I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
So while we're going to have these troubles, while we're going to go through it, he's with us. He's watching us. He's making sure that we're ready. Because he's not going to give us more. He's not going to put us in better situations if we don't know how to respond to the first one.
That's right. That's true. Yeah.
If we still spazzing every time somebody says something that we don't like, he gonna keep sending people to make you spaz. Because obviously you ain't learned your lesson yet. He's right. Help. And if I can be honest for a second, just I ain't gonna be long, but a lot of the times we go through circumstances, but we go through them alone because we choose to suffer in silence. We don't want people in our business. And the problem with that is y'all talking to the wrong people. You're talking to the wrong people. Or we know somebody who could fix it. Your uncle PJ can fix the toilet, but he cannot fix the problems in your life. Okay? Y'all better seek some godly counsel. Okay? He good for a few things, but this one ain't it. And even when we're going through our silent battles, we walk around like everything is okay. We have perfected the craft of smiling, and our response to everything is, how you doing? I'm good, how are you? Are you? Are you really okay? When in all actuality, you really want somebody to ask you, how are you? Because as soon as they ask you in a way that you feel that they really mean it, you about 0.5 seconds from breaking down. And we push people away in times of need because we don't know how to handle it ourselves. we don't know who to trust. Again, y'all been talking to the wrong people. I know that my support system, my family, hold it down. But if I have nobody else to go to, I know I got these two sitting right here. I can call them. If I don't get an instant response, I'm going to get a text. Hey, we'll call you later. Everything okay? I know that in any situation, I can go to them. And what they're going to say to me, I'm not always going to like it. Like when I lost my job and I was upset, and I called Pastor Atina. I was like, we just bought furniture. And I was crying again because I ain't used to be this emotional, but, you know. I just bought furniture, and we just moved. What am I going to do? And I always say it because it's just still so funny to me. Pastor Atina was on the phone like, well, praise God, you got a couch. So I'm like, she really talking about a couch? I ain't going to have no income. I got a almost husband. No, I think we was married at that time. We were married. I got a husband at home. What am I going to do? A couch? Like, she took me completely left. But I had to learn from that moment that there's good in everything. And even coming from that situation, so much greater came. So I lost my job, but maybe a couple months later, I got pregnant. Doctors was telling me all types of false information. I couldn't have kids. I had to take this, do that. Had a job with better pay, better benefits. And I've been promoted 4 times since then. And I got a couch. A new one since then. But I say all that to say, a closed mouth don't get fed. So if you continue to sit in your battles in silence, it's going to take you a long time to get to where you need to be. It's going to take us way too long to get there. So I have 4 ways for us to learn how to trust God in spite of our circumstances. Number 1 is remembering God and his promises.
Amen. Thank you, Lord God. Thank you, Jesus.
Elder Sadell told us, I cannot remember the name of the message, so I apologize, but she told us in one of her messages that there are 8,810 promises in the Bible. And one of those promises, one of those 8,810 are bound to be the answer to one of our problems. Let's look at Psalms 13, 1 through 6. O Lord, how long will you forget me? Forever? How long will you look the other way? How long must I struggle with anguish in my soul, with sorrow in my heart every day? How long will my enemy have the upper hand? Turn and answer me, O Lord my God. Restore the sparkle in my eyes, or I will die. Don't let my enemies gloat, saying, we have defeated him. Don't let them rejoice at my downfall. But I trust in your unfailing love. I will rejoice because you have rescued me. I will sing to the Lord because he is good. Now, in that moment, David was feeling forgotten. He was confused. He wanted to know why people who are doing less than him are moving faster than he is. But then he had to step back for a second and remember, you rescued me before, you can do it again. And in times in hard times, we have to really look at them as blessings. Even during hard times, we got to keep going. We got to keep serving. That don't mean we sit down. Pull yourself together. Put your big boy drawers on. Get up. We have to remember that he is faithful in everything. Even if you just go home and just write down one thing each day that you're grateful for. Whenever you feel like something hasn't come your way or you haven't accomplished anything, look at your list. Say, you know what, God, you're right. You did that. You did that. I'm going to pick myself up. I'm going to pull myself together. Because if you did it once, you'll do it time and time and time again. Really think about how many times he's rescued you. I don't got enough hands and toes and teeth and strands on my head. But just really think about it. And number 2, we have to find the victory in everything. When we experienced our miscarriage a couple years ago, I remember sitting in the car, and I'm not sure who I was on the phone with, but I remember saying, I don't question God. And as painful as it was to experience that, and within, maybe an hour or so of hearing it, my response was, I don't question God. Now, I don't know how that came out of my mouth because I couldn't say a word to anybody, a word of nothing. I think I just handed the doctor the phone so she can talk to Carl, so he can talk to, I couldn't say anything. But I had enough strength to get out, I don't question God. And although I wasn't able to birth a child, a second one, I was able to birth a nonprofit that's going to help women and other families heal. We really have to look at everything as a victory. You lost that job, that's cool. Your time was up. You're a little broke right now, that's cool. It's time for you to learn how to budget. I'm just giving it to you how it's given to me. Listen, you feeling a little ill? Take better care of yourself. You got to find the victory in everything. Because as long as you stay down, everything is going to hold you down. The weight of everything is going to be on your shoulders. His word says that all things come together for our good. He never said it was going to be cute. Never said it. Find the victory in everything. Number 3, seek a deeper connection. When we're going through hard things, our heart and our head are not connected. Our head is telling us one thing, but our heart is telling us another. And it's a battle of who you listen to. You got to listen to your heart. You have to seek a deeper connection with God. So you can hear the things that he has for you. So you can hear what he wants you to do. So he can hear how he wants you to respond. So how do you do that? You got to read the word. You got to get to know him. The Bible is like an introduction of God. It tells us everything we need to know. And it tells us all 8,810 of the promises. Just throw that out there. We have to pray. We have to pray. You ever been in a relationship with somebody and y'all ain't spend time together? Where they at now? Just saying. You have to spend time with God to grow that relationship, to grow that deeper connection to him. So when hard times come, you know who to turn to. Because you can't talk to me. I like to talk to y'all, but don't tell me your problems. Because I'm going to say, did you go to God first? I'm going to have my opinion. But I don't like to give my opinion because you're going to do what you want to do anyway. So I'm going to save my breath. But you got to go to him first. Because he's going to tell you everything you need to know. He's going to tell you who to leave behind. He's going to tell you what to do next. He's going to tell you where your relationship lies with him. So seek a deeper connection with him. You got to read your word. You got to pray. You have to apply it.
That's right. We do.
You got to be obedient.
Right.
Obedience is not comfortable. It's not. But ultimately, it's for our good.
It is. It is.
Y'all ever tried to not run a red light? And you was right there, it was yellow. You was like, do I stop? Do I go? You look around to see how many police are behind you. That's one of those moments where you gotta be like, I'm gonna stop and back up a little bit so I don't get hit by them other cars that's turning. But you gotta be obedient. The laws are there for a reason, for our safety. The word is here for our protection.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
Apply the word. And number 4, remain faithful while you wait. Psalms 34:17 says, when the righteous cry out for help, the Lord hears and delivers them from all of their troubles. Sometimes while we're waiting, we have these unrealistic expectations. We want our prayers to happen instantly because we prayed it. Because we asked for it, we said it, and it's so. But he not on our time. Because if that was the case, I would be on time to work in church and everywhere else I got to go. I'm going to speak for myself because I'd be late to my own funeral if it was up to me. But we're not on his time. So while we're waiting, we have to be faithful. We have to know that he's going to pull us through. It's like us going to the gym for a week and expecting to see abs. No, baby, it don't work like that. Because you left the gym and went to McDonald's. It ain't going to work. I do be in the mirror checking like, all right, you've been in the gym for a week now. You look good, girl. And then I go in the fridge. I realize I got a little more work to do. But you have to remain faithful while we're waiting. And while we're waiting, we have to be reminded that we're not in control. And just because we don't see it happening doesn't mean that he's not working on it. So, in closing, every circumstance that was created by God was created by God. And since he created them, he has absolute control over everything that happens. So you have to trust him in spite of. I don't care if you leave out of here with nothing else today. If just the words in spite of don't sit with you, visit Resource Center when you finish. I got you, Aunt Renee. I got you. Because while we say we trust God, we really got to do it. Trust and worry can't reside in the same place. So, in spite of, learn how to trust God in every circumstance. Drops mic, I'm done. Thank you.